Ray.
And I'm Chris McGardner.
And here's what's happening at HMS. First semester house champions, All Turismo, are invited to attend a movie field trip to see Dr. Dolittle at Cinemark Alliance.
Each All Turismo student who attends will get free admission into the movie, a drink, and a small snack. Students may bring money to purchase other items.
Permission slips were emailed to parents and are due to huddle teachers by Tuesday, January 13th. See your huddle teacher if you didn't see the email or need a printed copy of the permission slip.
Students will get 30 minutes of free time outside when we return from the movies. If you want to order a sack lunch from the cafeteria for that time, you need to tell your huddle teacher when they turn in your slips.
Tropical smoothies on sale today during our lunches.
The HMS basketball teams return to action next week against Adams.
Boys play on Monday and girls play on Thursday. 7th grade teams will play at home.
And that's the news.
Here's what else is happening at HMS.
I went to Texas, so down in Austin. Well, I come from a Longhorn family. Both my parents went to Texas. My uncle and aunt both went to Texas. So I was indoctrinated at a very young age. And really, that was the only place I grew up thinking I was going to go to Texas. And really the only place I considered when I graduated from high school. My favorite class, well, I was a finance major, and it took me a long time until I got to those upper level classes. But really, all the finance classes really kind of clicked with me, and I liked those the best. Well, I probably didn't prepare well. It was the only school I applied for. I know nowadays kids apply for multiple schools, but I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't got accepted. But I don't think I was very prepared, I will say that. When I got down there, it was kind of a eye-opening experience. Once I got there, it was kind of a culture shock for me. Obviously, Texas is a huge school. I remember the day my parents, I went down there and they were dropping me off in the dorm, and I was staying in Jester Hall, which at the time they said it was the world's largest dorm. It had its own zip code. It was about, 14 stories high, and I felt like I was moving into a giant hotel, and that was kind of a culture shock for me. The other thing that sticks out is my first day of class. I had a history course that I was taking, a freshman history course. And, I figured out what building it was in, and I went in and I walked through the door, and I was expecting, a classroom. Like, that's what I had in high school. It was a giant auditorium. There was 500 students in the auditorium. And I just could not believe that I was going to take a class with 500 other students. So that, just the size of the classes and just the size of the school really took a while to adjust to. And so it took a little while, but I finally got in the swing of things. So craziest tradition, man. Let's see, what would be a crazy tradition? Had a lot of friends that joined the Cowboys, a lot of friends from my high school that went up there, and just the stories they tell me about their initiation, which I probably won't go into too much detail, but they had some crazy traditions that and rituals that they had to go through, but I think most people kind of are fairly well aware of a lot of the Texas traditions. They're kind of out in the open and on display every Saturday. So, yeah, just the adjustment. Of course, every college student's gonna have to learn to live on their own and live outside their home and not have mom and dad to rely on. Day in and day out, telling you to study, fixing your food, and just making those basic decisions that you have to make once you go to college. So that was a big adjustment, and then the big class sizes, and another big one. And I tell my students this today is just learning how to study, learning how to learn, because in college, there's the professors don't really teach like we teach here at Hillwood. They lecture, they talk fast, and then they tell you to go read the couple of chapters in the book and learn it yourself. Learning how to learn was my biggest challenge when I was a freshman, and I don't think I really figured it out until almost 2 years in. Once I figured it out, I really loved college from then on, and it wasn't as hard, but you just developing your own method to study and being disciplined enough, because mom and dad aren't telling you to study, being disciplined enough to make yourself do it when you're supposed to, and being responsible for your grades. That was like a 2-year adjustment for me to figure it all out. Just the freedom, being independent. Of course, Austin is a great place to be young and independent. So many things you can do outside of school. That I still enjoy going back for football games and just hanging around Austin. It's just a cool place. So.
Hello, Hillwood. Unfortunately, we recently had an increase in the amount of dangerous physical activity taking place on school grounds.
This activity often begins playfully.
But what starts as fun can often lead to frustration and fights.
Things like necking, horseplay in the halls, slapboxing.
Even old school hand-to-hand combat are becoming more frequent on campus.
So we've come up with a mantra for you to keep in your mind throughout the day.
No horseplay.
No fights.
And you'll be all right.
If everyone remembers to keep their hands to themselves and treat people the way they want to be treated, we can all go to school peacefully without fearing foreign eyes.
Remember, those little play fights can turn into something dangerous that can result in serious consequences for those involved.
No one wants to get injured, and no one wants to get suspended.
That's right. Horseplay and fights will result in a 3-day suspension.
So remember this: no horseplay,
No fights.
And you'll be all right.
No horseplay, no fights, and you'll be all right.
Promise. We're just friends.